Good evening and welcome to the News Hour Agenda. It's our continuing coverage as far as Mandate 2024 is concerned, and of course a day of dramatic twists and turns when it comes to the fortunes of various political formations. But today, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed his party workers at the BJP headquarters after the NDA won the majority in the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. The India Alliance also put up a spirited fight with its tally hovering around 230 mark, leading to the BJP not being able to reach the majority mark on its own. The Prime Minister thanked the people for the mandate and also congratulated his allies over the victory. Listen in to some of the excerpts from the Prime Minister's speech.
आज का यह पल निजी तौर पर मेरे लिए भी भावुक करने वाला पल है। मेरी मां के जाने के बाद ये मेरा पहला चुनाव था, लेकिन सच मानिए, देश की कोटि कोटि माताओं, बहनों, बेटियों ने मां की कमी मुझे खलने नहीं दी। मैं पूरे देश में जहां जहां भी गया, माताओं, बहनों, बेटियों ने अभूतपूर्व स्नेह और आशीर्वाद दिया। और यह आंकड़ों में नहीं दिख सकता है। देश के इतिहास में महिलाओं द्वारा वोटिंग के सारे रिकॉर्ड टूट गए। इस प्यार, इस अपनेपन को मैं शब्दों में बयान नहीं कर सकता। ये मेरे भावों में है। ये मेरे मन मस्तिष्क के कोने कोने में रचा बसा है। देश की कोटि कोटि माताओं बहनों ने मुझे नई प्रेरणा दी। आंध्र प्रदेश में चंद्रबाबू नायडू जी के नेतृत्व में एनडीए ने शानदार प्रदर्शन किया है। बिहार में नीतीश बाबू के नेतृत्व में भी एनडीए ने शानदार प्रदर्शन किया है।
And earlier in the day, the Congress also held a press conference and appeared upbeat, thanking the people for their support. Congress leaders called the results a moral defeat for the BJP. Rahul Gandhi said that the Congress wasn't just fighting the BJP, but also the institutions that it alleged was working at the ruling party's behest. In fact, on the question of government formation, Rahul said that the India bloc leaders will meet tomorrow to take a decision.
यूपी की जनता से मैं कहना चाहता हूं, आपसे ज्यादा पॉलिटिकल विजडम, मतलब आपने कमाल करके दिखा दिया। यूपी की जनता ने कमाल करके दिखा दिया। नहीं, बहुत सारे स्टेट्स ने कमाल करके दिखाया, मगर बीजेपी यूपी ने हिंदुस्तान की राजनीति समझकर, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पर खतरा समझकर उत्तर प्रदेश ने कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन की रक्षा की है। और मैं सब स्टेट्स का धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूं, मगर उत्तर प्रदेश को मैं स्पेशल कहना चाहता हूं। आपने कांग्रेस पार्टी का, इंडिया गठबंधन का समर्थन किया। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। इसमें मेरी बहन प्रियंका गांधी का भी काम है।
Rahul ji, although the NDA has emerged as, they're getting the majority, but some of its partners have been your partners in the past, including the TDP and the JDU. So have you decided to sit in the opposition, or there are chances of government formation by the India government?
We, as we have said earlier, we're going to have a meeting with our partners, the India Alliance partners. I believe that meeting is tomorrow, and these questions will be raised there and they will be answered there. We respect our alliance partners, and we are not going to make statements in the press without asking them their opinion.
कांग्रेस के घोषणा पत्र के बारे में मोदी जी ने जो झूठ फैलाया, जनता ने उसे समझ लिया। मैं इस मौके पर कहना चाहूंगा कि श्री राहुल गांधी जी की दोनों यात्राएं, भारत जोड़ो यात्रा और भारत जोड़ो न्याय यात्रा के दौरान लाखों करोड़ों लोगों को मिलना, लोगों की समस्याओं को सुनना और आगे चलकर उन समस्याओं का हल ढूंढना हमारे कैंपेन का आधार बना।
Let's now quickly focus on states which have pulled the BJP's tally down, causing a huge surprise, of course. First is Uttar Pradesh that Rahul Gandhi was just referring to. The UP Lok Sabha results, in fact, have seen as far as the seat share comparison is concerned. There you go. In 2024, the seat share has been 33 for the BJP. It was 62 in 2019. For the BSP, it was 10, now down to 0. For Samajwadi Party, where it was 5, it is now 37. That's the huge number, of course, that we're seeing for Samajwadi Party, which has taken and contributed rather towards the opposition's numbers in a huge way. We're seeing Apna Dal S come down from 2 to 1. But here, the Indian National Congress also improving its tally in Uttar Pradesh from 1 to 6. This is as far as UP is concerned, and the total improvement, of course, is being quite drastic with the SP and the BSP put together. Looking at the vote share of the BJP, in 2019 it was 50%, down to 41.38%. For the BSP, it was 19.4%, down to 9.39%. For Samajwadi Party, from 18 to 33.55, close to doubling its actual vote share on ground. Apna Dal S goes from 1.2% down to 0.92%. The Indian National Congress at 6.4% in 2019, improving to 9.49%. So there's been about a 3% rise there for the International Congress. Very quickly, looking at some of the takeaways also that are coming out of Uttar Pradesh. This has exposed the BJP's internal cracks in the biggest state. It also talks about the plummeting tally, almost half of its 2019 tally on ground. This has, of course, been a huge jolt as far as the citizens, as far as the BJP is concerned, and of course coming in from the voters of Uttar Pradesh. If we can quickly bring in, if there are any other takeaways from there on this particular screen. Smriti Irani, of course, losing to KL Sharma and Amethi, a prestige battle there as well. Smriti Irani has lost by more than 1.67 lakh votes. The PDA pitch by Samajwadi Party has likely paid dividends is one of the takeaways. And SP is bagged 6 out of 10 seats. BSP had won in 2019. The BJP is losing even in Faizabad, which houses the Ram temple that has been built in Ayodhya, the Pran Pratishtha of which happened on the 23rd of January. Opposition's BJP will remove quota assertion, perhaps hurt the BJP as well in Uttar Pradesh. Let's go across to the next state we're talking about. The next state is Rajasthan. The Lok Sabha numbers over here of Rajasthan also very interesting, because in 2019 BJP managed to get 24 seats out of 25. One went to the others, and the Congress and CPM, which had drawn a blank in 2019, of course had managed to now get 8 and 1. The BJP's numbers coming down by 10 from 24 to 14. So that's a huge reversal there for the BJP as well. Quickly look at the vote shares as well in Rajasthan. Rajasthan vote share for the BJP comes down from 59 to 49.2%. For Congress from 35, increasing to 39.71%. Remember that they've just lost an assembly election about 9 months ago in Rajasthan. CPM, which had drawn a blank, now at 1.97. Others at 4%, up to 12% in Rajasthan. Quick takeaways from Rajasthan that are coming in. The quick takeaways that we'll quickly bring up on your screen. The BJP has opened an account. All right, this is the Kerala takeaways that we're looking at this point of time. We'll quickly open that in just a minute. Let's first finish Rajasthan. If you can bring the Rajasthan takeaways, please, on the screen. All right, these are the Rajasthan numbers that we're talking about. These are Rajya Sabha numbers. All right, do we have the Rajasthan takeaways? Can we take them, please? All right, if we can move on to the third state then, the third surprise state that we're talking about, this is Maharashtra. Let's quickly open up the Maharashtra numbers on the screen. The Maharashtra numbers are stacked up like this. The BJP and its vote share from 26.31%. That's where it was earlier, and the seat share of the BJP is at 10. Shiv Sena at 13.8%, its seat share at 7. The NCP at 3.43%, its seat share at 1. And we're looking at the Congress with 17.21%, its seat share at 13. Shiv Sena UBT at 16.93% is at 9. NCP SP from 9.62%, it has managed to get 7 seats. That's a huge amount. This is the Sharad Pawar faction of the NCP, and huge resurgence for Sharad Pawar himself. And of course, managing to get these 7 seats is certainly no mean feat, given that a large number of his leaders had gone out with Ajit Pawar, who managed to get only 1 seat. Others getting 11% and 1 seat. So as far as the opposition is concerned, the numbers are, of course, much better. The Maha decline for the BJP in terms of the seats is seen in this particular plate as well. In 2019, it was 23. In 2024, it is 10. Vote share coming down from 27.84%. And of course, it is at 26.29%. So while the BJP has lost a number of seats in terms of its vote share, just a marginal decline, but that's had a huge catastrophic effect as far as the seats are concerned. Let's quickly, in fact, take away the big takeaways from Maharashtra. NDA gets 18 of 48 seats in Maharashtra. India gets 29. The Maha Vikas Aghadi has punched above its weight in Maharashtra as another big takeaway coming in. Voters have shown preference for Uddhav as well as Sharad Pawar. Sena and NCP split has helped the Maha Vikas Aghadi over here. Poll results may impact alliance dynamics in the NDA, and the NDA gets 18 of 48 seats in Maharashtra. India gets 29. That's ultimately the figure. The India alliance was on the back foot, and they managed to surge ahead to 29. NDA has gotten just 18 seats. Let's quickly, in fact, take the takeaways from some of the other states, the numbers that we're looking at from some of the other states. All right, these are the other states that we're looking at. Odisha numbers. Here, the BJP has had a stellar performance, not just winning in the assembly, but improving from 8 to 19. These are the numbers, in fact, of the states that have powered the BJP. BJD from 12 coming down to 1, the Congress static at 1. Quickly look at the other vote share numbers as well in Odisha. The BJD going down from 44.7 to 37.5. The BJP increasing from 32.4 to 45.46, and Congress coming down from 16.1 to 12.3. Let's go across to the next state. Let's just quickly go across to the next state because we have limited time. Of course, these are the takeaways. Let's quickly move on to the next state that we're discussing, and this is Kerala. Why this is important is for the first time the BJP ever has won one Lok Sabha seat. One may be thinking this is actually making a big deal of 1 seat, but it's actually huge because no one ever thought that the BJP would open its account in Kerala. So a concerted effort in the Thrissur seat where the Prime Minister campaigned not once but twice, and also a high voltage campaign for superstar Suresh Gopi, who's managed to secure the seat. The Congress has pretty much maintained its seat share, losing 1 from 15 to 14. The CPM also at 1, but when you look at the alliance, of course, it's a different story. Let's quickly bring in the third state that we're discussing. All right, this is the vote share of Kerala. Quickly look at Andhra Pradesh as well, and then I have to open this out to our guests. This is another big story over here, ladies and gentlemen. In 2024, YSRCP, which had 22 seats in 2019, down to 4. TDP from 3 has increased drastically to 16. The BJP also improving its performance from 0 to 3. The JSP also picking up 2 seats. But the assembly is where the TDP has had a stellar showing and would be able to form the government on its own. Let's quickly open this up and take this across to our guests. Joining us with us, of course, on our panel at this moment, we have Sanju Verma, national spokesperson of the BJP. With us also is Kamruzaman Chaudhary, political analyst. Vivek Silas, national spokesperson of Samajwadi Party, is with us. Anupriya, spokesperson of JDU, is with us. Sanju Verma, 3 states at least where the BJP has received a huge jolt, which have brought down not just the tally of the BJP, but the entire NDA. And these are the states of Maharashtra, of Rajasthan, as we just showed you, and UP. What really have been the causes? Are they local causes, or is there one overriding national factor?
You know, Madhav, I'm not going to behave like the spokesperson of the opposition and say, oh, we don't trust EVMs. They were not working in the BJP's favor in Uttar Pradesh. So let us undermine the credibility of the electorate. No, I will not do that. I'm extremely disappointed. I've been saying this in one show after the other on various debates. The 2 biggest disappointments, of course, are Uttar Pradesh and even West Bengal, where we thought, we will score far higher in terms of both seat share and vote share compared to Trinamool Congress. The Samajwadi Party has had a good run in Uttar Pradesh. But my limited point is this, Madhav. While I'm willing to take cognizance, and every senior leader in the party has taken cognizance of the fact that Uttar Pradesh has been a nasty surprise for the BJP, we will go back to the drawing board. We will do introspection like we do always, whether we win or we lose. But मुझे ये बात समझ में नहीं आ रही है, why is the party And I'm talking of the Congress party. I'm talking of Rahul Gandhi. He was grinning from one ear to the other. I mean, come on. It is the BJP-led NDA which has crossed the 272 magical number comfortably. It is Prime Minister Narendra Modi who's going to be helming the state of affairs for the third time in a row comfortably. तो किस बात के विपक्ष को इतनी खुशी है? At the end of the day, BJP standalone has got more seats than Akhilesh
Vivek Salas,
Yadav,
respond to that.
and Mamata Banerjee.
What's there for the opposition to celebrate is a question coming from Sanju Verma. We are forming the NDA government. Respond to that, Vivek Salas.
Yeah, it was a very close fight, Madhav. Yes, definitely. And at the moment, I can say and congratulate Sanju ji and the Bharatiya Janata Party. They could form the government, no doubt. But if you see the two leaders, Nitish Kumar and Chandrababu Naidu, they are the most deceptive leaders in the country. We all know about Nitish Kumar, how he has been shifting posts. And if you talk about Chandrababu Naidu, the TDP, if you take back to his father-in-law, N.T. Rama Rao, since then till date, any coalition partners that they have gone with in election, they have never supported it. So that is a history of the TDP. As far as
Are you hoping for their support though?
As far as Uttar Pradesh, yeah, of course. One of them could be the Prime Minister of the country, who knows? You never know.
Is that the offer that has gone to it?
You never know.
No,
It could be.
Is that the offer?
Because the meeting is tomorrow, Madhav.
Okay.
Let's see what happens.
Okay.
One of them could be the Prime Minister of the country.
Okay,
you never know.
let's just put that across to JDU spokesperson Anupriya. Anupriya is with us. And Anupriya ji, I think this is a direct reference to your party's leader, Mr. Nitish Kumar. यहाँ पे समाजवादी पार्टी के प्रवक्ता कह रहे who knows, he may be the next Prime Minister of the country. अनुप्रिया जी क्या जवाब देना चाहेंगे?
माधव जी, सबसे पहले तो मैं आपके चैनल के माध्यम से भारत की जनता को मैं बधाई देना चाहती हूँ कि आज लोकतंत्र जीत गया। कम से कम विपक्ष के सवाल ये खत्म हुए कि आप ईवीएम पे सवाल उठाना बंद करेंगे। भारत की लोकतंत्र अब बच गई है और मैं आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी को भी बधाई दूंगी, वो तीसरी बार पुनः भारत के प्रधानमंत्री बनेंगे। और ये जो सवाल बार बार मुझे लगता है कि तमाम चैनल के द्वारा और विपक्ष खासकर जो उठा रहे नीतीश कुमार जी के लिए, उनको यह पता होना चाहिए कि हमारा नेचुरल अलायंस बीजेपी के साथ में 2005 से है और हमने लोकसभा विधानसभा चुनाव हमने कई बार लड़ा है और अब भी हम बीजेपी के साथ में हैं। और अगर आपको नीतीश कुमार जी की इतनी चिंता हो रही थी तो आपको तब सोचना चाहिए था जब हमने इंडिया अलायंसेस का निर्माण किया। और जैसे आप गठबंधन की बात कर रहे हैं, जो अभी भी मैं कह रही हूँ कि बिखरी हुई गठबंधन है, क्योंकि आपने चुनाव कहीं भी एक साथ नहीं लड़ा। और यही स्थिति आपकी आप देखेंगे कि रिजल्ट में आपको बिहार में देखने को मिला। जिस तरह से आपने लूट मचा लिया था कि आप 17 महीने के शासनकाल को आप अपने शासनकाल की गिनती कर रहे थे, जबकि आप में हिम्मत यह नहीं थी कि आप 90 से 2005 के अपने शासनकाल की आप बात करें। इसलिए बिहार की जनता ने जो परिणाम आज सामने दिया है, यह दिखाया है कि नीतीश कुमार जी जहां है वहां जीत निश्चित है और बिहार की जनता फिर से सुशासन की सरकार पे मुहर लगाई है और आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के हाथों को मजबूत की है।
यू आर चूजिंग योर वर्ड्स वेरी केयरफुली अनुप्रिया जी। जहां है वहां जीत निश्चित है। अब इससे ऑलरेडी कई सवाल खड़े होने वाले हैं अनुप्रिया जी।
नहीं माधव जी, ये हमने शुरू से कहा है कि नीतीश कुमार जी बिहार के लिए हैं और बिहार की जनता के लिए हमेशा वो वही फैसला लेते हैं जो बिहार की जनता के
तो
लिए
देश के लिए नहीं है।
और हम अभी फिलहाल कह रहे हैं
तो देश के बड़े नेता नहीं है, उनके देश के बड़े नेता के रूप में आप नहीं देख रहे हैं आने वाले दिनों में?
नीतीश कुमार जी का इतिहास बहुत लंबा रहा माधव जी। उन्होंने पहले लोकसभा इलेक्शन से फाइट किया, उसके बाद में वो बिहार के मुख्यमंत्री बने हैं और वो देश के सेवा देते रहे हैं। और आपने उनके पूरे शासनकाल को आप देखिएगा तो बहुत ही निष्पक्ष, परिवारवाद से ऊपर इनकी राजनीति रहती है। उनकी राजनीतिक जब भी वो जिस भी विभाग को संभाला है, उस विभाग को बहुत ईमानदारी से उन्होंने निभाया है।
Okay.
बिहार के मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में हो या देश के वो
सस्पेंस कमरुज़मान चौधरी, suspense over what Nitish Kumar will do. Certainly, of course, it's keeping all on tenterhooks. But the point is that even today, we have seen a number of statements coming in from top leaders of the TDP. JDU perhaps has been a little more cryptic, but they are saying that we are very much part of the NDA. What gives you the hope that these leaders would actually come out of the NDA fold and form a government with the India Alliance?
Yeah, Madhav, before coming to your question, just give me 10 seconds. Let me reply to Sanju Verma when she said, why is Rahul Gandhi so happy, so elated? Why is the opposition so happy? Let me remind you all that since the Gujarat days, Narendra Modi is traveling to Delhi and he had a tremendous run. You know, he bulldozed almost all the elections so far till date. In 2024, for the first time, we are seeing the beginning of end of the Modi Sarkar, Modi regime rather, I'll put it that way. That's why we are elated that we at least are trying to get rid of such a prime minister that India should not have had. That's my personal viewpoint, and a lot of my countrymen share that view.
But he's been democratically elected. How can you say it should not have had?
That's why we are trying to remove him democratically. That's nothing wrong in it.
Okay.
Now coming back to your question, what happens if Nitish Babu and JD TDP? Yeah, they do not join the India government. But honestly speaking, as a congressman, as a partner of the India Alliance, I personally feel that Narendra Modi should be forming the government because he got a mandate from the people of the country as a pre-election alliance, and they should be forming the government. And I'm very hopeful within the next 6 months that within their internal contradictions, this government is going to fall, and that's where the opposition will be coming more united, more cohesively. We will be able to fight the Bharatiya Janata Party's juggernaut.
Okay, so you're not opposed to them forming the government, but Sanju Verma, would you like to respond to what he's saying? He's saying that the reason we are elated is that we feel we've been able to stop Prime Minister Modi from being able to win a landslide election, as has happened in the past. Please respond.
First and foremost, I have not engaged in any personal attack. I take strong objection to Kamru Zaman's phrase, we want to get rid of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Excuse me, till 2029, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be helming the Modi government for the third time in a row. And even 2029, we will fight under Narendra Modi, because let me tell you, today, Odisha, after 25 long years, Naveen Patnaik's brilliant run is coming to an end. It has turned into a BJP bastion. Andhra Pradesh today is an NDA bastion. Himachal Pradesh is a BJP bastion. Uttarakhand continues to be a BJP bastion. Gujarat continues to be a BJP bastion. And look at Madhya Pradesh. Last I saw 29 out of 29 seats. Madhya Pradesh continues to be a BJP bastion. So like I said, if you want to... I'm answering that. There's a famous saying, Madhav. Now, since everybody today has been getting philosophical, time for me to also become a tad philosophical. There's this famous saying by Norman Vincent. He says, if you shoot for the moon, you will at least land among the stars. So yes, not getting to 370 on a standalone basis and not getting to 400 as part of NDA, is it disappointing? Of course it is disappointing. But is BJP the single largest party still? Yes. And is Narendra Modi the most popular leader still? Yes. So don't harbor any hopes of your Rahul Baba becoming Prime Minister till at least 2044. Yeah, 2054.
आपका मोदी जी तो बोले 2047. Madhav, by the way, Sanju Verma made a very valid point out here about Odisha and Andhra Pradesh.
Okay, 1 hour. Yeah, Sanju, he is responding to you. I'm going to allow Kamru Zaman Chaudhary to come in now. Yeah, Kamru Zaman Chaudhary.
She made a very valid point about Odisha and Andhra Pradesh. The two parties like the YSRC and the BJD have been decimated in these elections. And these are the two parties who stood through Narendra Modi's government through thick and thin in the parliament, supporting each and every bill that he was bringing inside the parliament. This is the character of the Bharatiya Janata Party. They will piggy bank on any regional party, and they have destroyed YSRC, they have destroyed BJD rather in Odisha, and next is the time for JDU and
but there is a different message coming on also. One second. It's very easy to take a moral high ground, but let me say this. One second. Just 1 second, Kamru Zaman Chaudhary. The fact is also that both the BJD, I beg your pardon, as well as the YSRCP are two parties that did not take any stand. They neither stood strongly with the NDA, nor do they stand strongly with the UPA. And that could also be the lesson from this. Why blame only one side when here are two regional parties that decided to go it completely alone, and perhaps that was to their detriment, would you say, Kamru Zaman Chaudhary?
No, BJD before the election was in very close talks with the Bharatiya Janata Party.
Close talks, but not part of the alliance.
No. They were there. But then what they thought was that the BJP seized a sense that they are going to decimate the BJD once and for all. And they have been successful in that. Okay. My question was that BJD wholeheartedly supported Narendra Modi's draconian bills that he bulldozed in the parliament. Even YSR
All right. We'll have to wrap it there, Kamruzaman Chaudhary. Completely out of time. Vivek Sailas, Anupriya, Sanju Verma, I'd like to thank all of you for joining us as well this evening. All eyes are on a set of meetings that are to take place tomorrow. The first cabinet meeting to take place as far after this election will be tomorrow morning at 11:30. As far as the union government is concerned, there's also the all-important meeting of the top India allies. What are the decisions that will be taken at these meetings is something that everyone will be watching very closely in the run-up to the swearing-in ceremony that, according to sources, could happen as early as the coming weekend as well. Earlier in the day, I spoke to the new giant killer of Amethi. This is KL Sharma, a Gandhi family loyalist who has defeated Union Minister Smriti Irani. This is what he had to say about his victory. Listen. And joining us for more at the moment is the new giant killer of Amethi, KL Sharma. KL Sharma ji, सबसे पहला सवाल आपसे, इस जीत का श्रेय किसको जाता है? क्या राहुल गांधी, प्रियंका गांधी, आपको या अमेठी की जनता को आप देंगे?
ये सर्वप्रथम तो मैं गांधी परिवार को दूंगा, उसके बाद अमेठी की जनता को दूंगा, जिन्होंने इतना बड़ा मैंडेट मेरे को दिया।
लेकिन जब आप इसकी पूरी तैयारी कर रहे थे, क्या आपको लगा था कि ये कॉन्टेस्ट एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज होगा? क्योंकि जो स्मृति ईरानी है वो एक कद्दावर नेता है, नेशनल लीडर है, यूनियन मिनिस्टर है, और उन्होंने कई बार अपने कैंपेन के दौरान अपने डेवलपमेंट ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड के बारे में बात कही है, खासतौर से अमेठी को लेकर।
नहीं, देखिए, ऐसा मैं 4 दशकों से अमेठी और रायबरेली में काम कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है। तो यहाँ का जो जनता का, मैंने जिस दिन नॉमिनेशन किया उसी दिन मेरे को लगा कि अच्छे से लड़ेंगे तो जीतेंगे
जी,
और मेरा काम आसान कर दिया प्रियंका जी ने, राहुल जी ने, खड़गे जी ने, अखिलेश जी ने।
और जो प्रियंका गांधी का जो कैंपेन रहा वहां पे, आप क्या कहेंगे? क्या उनके प्रेजेंस से भी, क्योंकि वो भी एक कद्दावर महिला नेता है, क्या आपको लगा कि कहीं ना कहीं स्मृति ईरानी को टेक ऑन करने में उनकी भी मदद मिली थी?
ये तो है, सही बात है। ये प्रियंका जी का बहुत बड़ा रोल है इस जीत के अंदर,
क्योंकि केवल अमेठी की बात नहीं है, अमेठी, रायबरेली और कई सारे सीटों पे भी कांग्रेस ने इस बार जीत पाई है यूपी के अंदर। क्या आप मानते हैं कि एक तरह से जो प्रियंका गांधी की लीडरशिप है संगठन की ओर से अगर देखें तो कहीं ना कहीं उस पे भी एक तरह से वर्डिक्ट है? ये
नहीं, ये तो मिला है, ये तो पूरा यूपी आप एविडेंस है इसका, आप जान देख रहे हैं आप। तो प्रियंका जी ने मतलब यहाँ पे जो उन्होंने मेरे लिए समय दिया और जिस तरह उन्होंने एक परिवार के सदस्य की तरह मेरे को माना, तो उसने जनता के बीच में मेरे को बहुत बड़ा संबल दिया और मेरी जीत का कारण बनी। वो राहुल जी यहाँ पे आए, अखिलेश जी यहाँ पे आए, खड़गे जी यहाँ पे आए, इन सब ने हमारे को जीत का श्रेय दिया। और अशोक गहलोत जी हमारे ऑब्जर्वर थे, यहाँ पे बनाए गए थे, तो उन्होंने भी अच्छे से यहाँ पे हमको मदद किया।
और साथ ही साथ जो राहुल गांधी की जीत हुई है रायबरेली और वायनाड दोनों में, अगर आपसे आपकी सलाह पूछी जाए तो आप क्या कहेंगे? उन्हें कौन सी सीट छोड़नी चाहिए, कौन सी सीट रखनी चाहिए?
देखिए, मेरी तो राय जो पर्सनल है, फैसला तो पार्टी ने करना है, लेकिन मेरी राय है कि वो अमेठी रायबरेली में रहे।
और शर्मा जी, ऐसा क्यों मानते हैं कि इनको रायबरेली सीट रखनी चाहिए? ऐसा क्यों कह रहे हैं आप?
ये मेरी पर्सनल राय है, बाकी पार्टी डिसाइड करेगी। लेकिन क्योंकि वो इनके दादाजी की सीट रही, इनकी दादी की सीट रही, इनकी माताजी की सीट रही,
और साथ ही साथ प्रियंका गांधी को भी कहा जा रहा है कि उनको फील्ड किया जा सकता है अगर बायपोल होती है वायनाड से, तो उसका स्वागत करेंगे आप?
नहीं, ये तो हाईकमान डिसाइड करेगा। तो हम तो चाहेंगे कि प्रियंका जी भी जल्दी से जल्दी हाउस में जाएं।
और हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद केएल शर्मा जी।